going back. He's at the wall, and it is gone. A home run. Andre Ethier with a home run to straightaway center field. And the Dodgers reclaim the lead 3-2.
Charlie Steiner, Dodgers Radio Network. Ethier homered twice, including a two-run walk-off shot in the bottom of the 10th. The Dodgers beat the Angels 5-3 to sweep the three-game freeway series for the first time since 2006. Halos have lost 6 straight, 9 of 10. Colin McHugh threw 7 solid innings. Astros beat the D-backs 4-1. Josh Hamilton hit a 2-run homer. The Rangers beat the Giants 2-1. American League, Blue Jays beat the Royals 5-2 in a heated affair that saw the benches clear. Yankees whipped the White Sox 12-3. Rays a 4-3 comeback win over the Red Sox, while the Tigers took down the Orioles 6-1. Mariners scored 3 in the 11th. They topped the Twins 4-1. A's posted a 2-1 walk-off win over the Indians. Cardinals clipped the Rockies. Brandon Moss got it done.
Long look. Oberg has the sign he wants now, and here comes the 2-1 offering for Brandon Moss. Swing and a ground ball base hit the left field. Cardinals win it. Hayward scores. It's 3-2 on Moss's game-winning RBI here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
KMOX on the call. Pirates earned the split, blanking the Reds 3-0. Cubs swept the Brewers 4-3 to run their winning streak to 5. Braves snapped a 6-game skid. They beat the Phils 6-2, and the Marlins polished off the Padres 5-2. Troy Merritt, your winner at the Quicken Loans National, 18 under. Matt Kenseth won at Pocono after other drivers ran out of fuel in the closing laps. I'm Dave Joseph. This is NBC Sports Radio.
This is KCAA.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Kcaa 1050, the station that leaves no listener behind. Hey, I'm on your dial. I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. I gotta make it through. Said I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gotta take my mind off of you. Give me just a second and I'll be alright. Surely one more moment couldn't break my heart. Give me till tomorrow, then I'll be okay. Just another day and then I'll hold you tight. If only I could get through this. If only I could get through this. If only I could get through this. God, help me get through this.
Good evening, your music team CNBC. Of course, playing only your requested dedications live and in the mix. I'm Fred Plumley. Tonight, our special guest is U.S. Army Sergeant Stephen Schultz, Recruiting Center Commander. We've got the music for you. .905 featuring DJ 100.
I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. I gotta make it through. Said I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gotta take my mind off of you. Give me just a second and I'll be alright. Surely one more moment couldn't break my heart. Give me till tomorrow, then I'll be okay. Just another day and then I'll hold you tight. If only I could get through this. If only I could get through this.
9:07 Pacific time here in North America. Special dedication going out to Felita Miranda from a gentleman named Johnny Lopez in Moreno Valley, California. Wherever you are, we've got the music for you live and in the mix. (9:10) Pacific time here in North America. And in just a couple minutes, we're going to be talking with U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. U.S. Army, Army Strong. We're your music team, CNBC Radio. The stations that leave no listener behind, KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.3 FM, 106.5 FM, coming soon. And of course, you can watch and listen to us on many platforms all over the world We're proud to have listeners and supporters in over 170 countries worldwide. We're your music team, CNBC. All right, shout out to Priscilla Sanchez checking in from Moreno Valley, California. Nice young lady. I saw her out there last night. New nightclub in Moreno Valley, having a good time out there. And in just 2 minutes, we're going to be talking with U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. U.S. Army, Army Strong, www.goarmy.com. Your music team, CNBC. (9:16) Pacific time here in North America, your music team. I'm Fred Plumley. Our special guest tonight is U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. How you doing tonight, Sergeant Schultz?
Doing fantastic, Fred.
Well, great, and of course, it's great for you to be here, and your lovely wife is here with us tonight, too.
Yeah, she decided to tag along to see what I actually do when I come over here, so she's doing quality control for me.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. And for those that haven't tuned in before, you're Recruiting Center Commander, and you have a number of recruiters that work for you, and you're an excellent spokesman for the U.S. Army.
We definitely try. Our goal is to reach everybody who is interested and find out about what the Army can offer, help them build a solid foundation moving towards whatever career they may want to. And then even reaching the ones who don't even know, there's a lot of lack of knowledge out there, and we want to make sure we touch all of them so they have a full understanding of what we can really do, what would be expected of them, and how we can help them lifelong.
Outstanding. Well, let's get started and talk about all the different exciting careers that are available. If I remember, there's over 150 different careers available in the Army, right?
There definitely is. The one thing that separates the active duty and the reserve components are the reserves doesn't have the full grouping of the combat MOSs, stuff like infantry. But other than that, they mirror each other very, very closely. What I like to tell people is it's important to aim for a career that you believe is going to either A, help you because it's the career you want to be in, or B, be a good way to diversify yourself so when you do get out of the Army, you have a good background to build off of. I tell people when you're looking for jobs to look for jobs in like a job field, not necessarily job specific. The reason why I tell them that is, for example, if you wanted to be military police, just because you qualify for the job doesn't mean there's actually an availability. We make military police because we're in need of them, or we have slots for people to become infantry because we have a need for them. If that need isn't there, that job may not be available to you. So if you're looking at job fields, you tend to be a little more successful because we can generally get you something in the job field if you qualify for it. And a lot of those jobs have a lot of crossover. So a lot of the communications jobs do a lot of the same items. Obviously, stuff like satellite communications, you're going to be, spending most of your time working satellite stuff, where you wouldn't be necessarily doing IT stuff. But other than that, the other pieces of it, there's a lot of overlap. So that's what I generally tell them to do is look for a job field versus looking for a specific job.
Outstanding. Now, we've got a lot of listeners out there that I know that are interested. What do they need to do to get started?
One of two steps. You can either A, get on GoArmy.com, do some research yourself. I believe it's a fantastic place to start. You can get a lot of general answers. Once you get to the point where you're ready to hear about specifics to yourself, things that would be available to you based on how well you score on the test, your physical limitations or lack thereof, that's where it really becomes important to sit down with a recruiter. So if you go on GoArmy.com and you put in your zip code, it'll actually give you the closest recruiting center to where you live. And then just call, make an appointment with a recruiter, sit down and go specifically step by step. What are your career goals? We do some backwards planning and figure out how we can get you there by using the benefits and the incentives the Army has.
You've talked a lot about how important education is, and we've got a lot of young people that are probably thinking that they need to prepare ahead to have a successful career in the Army. That's true, right?
Absolutely. I think one of the big misnomers we have is a lot of people feel, based on previous generations, that the Army is a place you go if you aren't prepared to go to college, or you don't want to go to college. What I will tell the listeners is, if you aren't planning on going to college, you're going to be severely limited when it comes to career growth in the Army. It is extremely important that we have educated soldiers and we have educated leaders. If you want to advance yourself, you want to advance in the ranks, and you want to help do the Army's business, you have to work on education. It's paramount to everything we do, whether it's institutional training in the Army, where we send you to leadership schools such as the Warrior Leaders course or the Advanced Leaders course, or you're looking at something like going to college, getting a degree, whether it's an associate's, a bachelor's, certifications and things, maybe your job field. But education is paramount. You will become stagnant. You will have difficulty getting promoted if you aren't doing that. So what I would tell listeners is, by all means, if you're not ready to go to college, the Army's a good place for you. But we are going to do everything we can to prepare you to go to college, to advance yourself. And like we talked the other day, I have 11 recruiters in my office. 9 of them are going to school. 1 of them already has their bachelor's degree. Once you get to Staff Sergeant, Sergeant First Class, you have to do it or you're going to get left behind. So it's really, really important to us. And we just want people to know, the smarter you are when it comes to things, solving problems in the world, not only are you going to be better in the Army, but when it comes time for you to get a job outside in the civilian sector, you're going to be significantly more prepared. So the Army is very key on education.
Well, you've been really successful, and I think a real good indication of that is your son's in the Army, too.
Yeah, he hates when I talk about it. I try to stay out of his way so he can have his career without me muddling through the middle of it. But, yeah, my son joined the Army Reserves. He's a 25 Bravo. He does information technology, and he's been successful so far. I look at him, and I see myself, unfortunately, sometimes. I was a 18-year-old kid in the Army, and I'm like, I'm in the Army, and I'm going to do my stuff. I'll get to that when I get to it. Things like going to college. And for me, I wish I had started earlier. So I try to express that upon him, and, of course, he gives me the same answer I would have given myself back then is, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it. But, yeah, he's doing well. I know my wife is proud beyond belief, as am I. His sister, Mackenzie, looks up to him. And it's really cool to have, your own son, following your footsteps. So that's pretty fantastic for myself.
It's a strong indicator. And Sergeant Schultz, how do people get in touch with you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is to call my office. It's area code 909-350-4288. Like I said earlier, you can go on GoArmy.com and put in your zip code, and if I happen to be closer to you, that's fantastic. Or you can go onto Fontana Army Recruiting on Facebook. You'll be able to find us, just send us a message, and we'll get a hold of you, set up an appointment.
Very good. And, I wanted to touch on this issue about education. This is something that I've learned since you've been coming in, and, of course, the U.S. Army's been sponsoring your music team. All of you guys have either bachelor's degrees or working on it. Some of you are even working on master's degrees. It's phenomenal.
It is a task for sure, especially working full-time as an Army recruiter or, being on Fort Bragg, Fort Hood, Fort Lewis, wherever you happen to be assigned, to do full-time Army business and then go take care of yourself after hours. It is a task. It is absolutely manageable. I know that there are a ton of schools that would give you credit for your Army service. So whether it's keeping you from having to do, having to take a physical activity course for your degree or giving you credit. For example, myself, I'm a missile systems tech. I got out of a lot of math because of being a missile system tech. They gave me direct credit for it. And there's a lot of ways to shorten how long it takes for you to get your degree. And you won't know it until you explore it. So go out there, talk to an Army recruiter. People who are in, if you haven't started, by all means, go see an education specialist and figure out what you can do, how much credit they're going to give you. Because your time in the Army is worth way more than just the paycheck you get. I think it's important that you take advantage of every benefit or every incentive that the Army has to offer. And if you don't take advantage of it, you're just leaving money on the table, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the Army could definitely change your whole life for the better. I think what we'll do is get back to some music if you'd like to sum it up, and then have you talk some more here in maybe about 15, 20 minutes, if that's okay with you.
That's fantastic. I think the big thing I would express upon the listeners is if you have even one question, it is worth your time to contact an Army recruiter. It doesn't matter. It may seem silly or a small minor detail that may not be important. As a recruiter, I despise gray area. If there's even one question that a spouse, an applicant, a parent has, I haven't done my job. So if you have a question, by all means ask. Whether it's just call a recruiter or do research on GoArmy.com, find the answer to it. Because I guarantee you, if you go find the answer, when it comes time to make that decision, you are going to feel significantly more confident in your decision. So it's really important that you get all those, little ancillary questions out of the way so you know that you're making the right decision for yourself and your family.
Great information. U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. I'm Fred Plumley. This is your music team, CNBC Radio. Of course, playing only your requested dedications, live and in the mix.
Time for a chain reaction, domino. People at the back, domino. People at the front, domino. People to the left, domino. People to the right, domino. People at the back, domino. People at the front, domino. People to the left, domino. domino. Time for a chain reaction, domino. Jumping in a beat like Geronimo. If it ain't raw, I don't wanna know. You're gonna feel it like a ripple effect. Time for a chain reaction, domino. Wild out in the middle with the mosh pit move. Bitch, get out the way. Now you're gonna feel it like a ripple effect. Time for a chain reaction, domino. Domino, 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 domino. Time for a chain reaction, domino. Domino. People at the back, domino. People at the front, domino. People to the left, domino. People to the right, domino. People at the back, domino. People at the front, domino. People to the left, domino. Time for a chain reaction, domino.
Special dedication going out to Sandy Quiroz from Roger Sepulveda, Los Angeles, California. Your music team, CNBC. Wherever you are, we've got the music for you.
time is house time. House time is anytime and anytime is house time. House time is anytime and anytime is house. House time is anytime and anytime is house time. House time is anytime and anytime is house.
Time 9:34 Pacific time in North America. CNBC, your music team.
House time is anytime and anytime is house. 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 Time is anytime and anytime is house.
Immigration Lawyers of America is a full-service immigration law firm with substantive experience in the field of immigration law. Founded by attorney Awais Kcaa, the firm can assist you with various options for individuals, businesses, and investors who wish to enter the United States to stay temporarily or stay permanently. Immigration Attorneys of America provides comprehensive case assistance for permanent immigration or temporary visits. The firm's friendly and courteous lawyers are available for one-on-one or in-person consultations. Call toll-free 1-855-444-VISA or visit www.ilousa.com. Immigration Attorneys of America, with offices in Los Angeles, Irvine, and Corona, California. They could definitely help you with all your immigration needs. Your music team, CNBC. We've got the music for you. And a special dedication. This one is going out to Rochelle for Mr. Victor Luna, checking in for Phoenix, Arizona.
I seen some I never saw. Everybody was moving, grooving, girls. They were dancing on the bar. Now this wasn't no ordinary dance. Hey man, why is everybody swimming in a trance? I couldn't figure it out like your grandpa's riddle. I asked them what they doing and they said to say wiggle. Now move your hips and dance like fish. I done just lost my mind. All those people wiggling they stuff. Hey man, you gonna do the dance? Man, turn down for what? Give me a shot. Another shot. Y'all ain't ready for me to show you what I got. Then my body froze up. It was getting to my head. What if I can't do it? Then everybody said, can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? Two girls are shaking it. I jumped in the middle. I asked them what we doing and they said, Juicy Wiggle. Can't you see? Can't you see? Yeah, can't you see?
$9:39 Pacific time here in North America. And a special dedication. This one is going out to Melissa from a gentleman named Henry Rivera, who's in San Jose, California, having a good time. We definitely got the music for you. Every Sunday, your music team, CNBC.
Won't you teach me how to love and learn? There'll be nothing left for me to yearn. Think of me and burn. Let me hold your hand. I don't want to face the world in tears. Please think again, I'm on my knees. Sing that song to me. No reason to repay. I know you want to say it. This is the rhythm of the night. The night. Oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night. Oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night. The night. Oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night.
MetLife is a global leader of the insurance, mortgage, financial services, and investment industry. www.metlife.com. And MetLife companies serve over 90 million customers, and MetLife holds leading market positions in every continent in the world. We're proud to have as a primary sponsor MetLife with new Inland Empire office at 1652 Plum Lane, Suite 103 in Redlands, California. Call 909-254-5684 for more information. MetLife, a global enterprise. www.global.metlife.com.
Show you what it feels like now I'm on the outside.
All right, special dedication going out to Mona Areola from Felix in San Bernardino, California. And in a couple minutes, we'll be talking with U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. It's your music team, CNBC. .48 Pacific time here in North America, your music team. And I'm Fred Plumley. And with me is U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
It's always great when you're here with us and talking about all the opportunities in the Army. And let's talk about some of those. You've got all kinds of jobs available, all kinds of benefits. Maybe you'd like to detail a few of them to our listeners.
I think the majority of the listeners probably have a fairly decent understanding, probably not too in-depth, but a pretty decent understanding of what the active duty Army is about. I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the Army Reserves. The reason why the Army Reserves is so fantastic is that you go to basic training, you go to AIT, which is where you learn your job, and then you return. Your commitment to the Army is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer, and for the most part, most of our reservists that come back, they go straight to school. It's really important that they have that stability. Having the reserves helps pay them for school. They still qualify for tuition assistance. They still, qualify for Montgomery GI Bill benefits. The other education benefits that go on with it. There's some bonuses for certain jobs, depending on your area. There's so many benefits and incentives, and then you include stuff like how much your medical insurance is versus the civilian sector. And I think it's not talked about enough. You can go in the reserves. You can be a full-time student. You got the stability. You've got the incentives paying for your school. So people who are interested in college, a lot of people think you go to the Army or you go to college. It is very reasonable to accomplish both of them at the same time. And I think that is understated to a great extent, which is why when you talk to most recruiters nowadays, first thing we talk about is the Army Reserves, because people just they know active duty, they don't understand reserves.
I'm not sure that I know all about it, and I'm sure our listeners don't. So let's say that I'm out there and I want to get in the reserves. What do I do?
Your qualifications are going to be the same. The medical portion is exactly the same. Moral, that whole piece is identical. The difference is what do you do once you're done with training? Now, like I spoke about earlier, combat MOSs are not in the reserves. The good thing about the Army Reserves, a lot of people want to compare it to the Army National Guard. The problem is the Army Reserves is funded federally. When you look at the Army National Guard, they're funded by the state. As you know, so there's times where the state of California is hard on money. Those guys are at risk, when it comes to funding, whether it's training or pay or anything like that. Whereas on the federal side, we don't really run into that. So a similar idea, but what you're owing the Army is significantly less time. Your contract generally will be a 6-year commitment with 2 years on the inactive ready reserve, where you don't go drill, you don't have any of those responsibilities anymore. But you're only doing 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer, so if you just do the math on it, 38 days a year to help you pay for school, that's a pretty significant exchange. While I would say it would be important to get a job that you're willing to do, that maybe it's a field you want to get into, you're trying to get into, whether it's communications or intelligence or something of that nature. When it comes to the reserve, your commitment to the Army is so small that, I told my son who's in the Army Reserves, what is going to give you the most money to accomplish college? Because in the end, that is your goal. You're just using the Army to accomplish that goal. So is it worth it to you to take a job that maybe you wouldn't have seen yourself doing to have better benefits, whether it's the student loan repayment program or a signing bonus or something of that nature? Which one is more important to you? To my son and myself, whatever paid him the most incentives was what we were going to take. He got lucky, found a fantastic job that he loves to do now. But sometimes just doing the incentives is completely worth it regardless of what your job you're doing. So you have to weigh that out for yourself. We talk to parents all the time, and which one's more important, having a job you're happy doing 1 week in a month or something that's going to help you pay for school throughout the year? And most pick throughout the year. So
outstanding. So let's look at this. When you get into the Army Reserves, I assume you still go through basic training, and then you only work 1 week in a month, right?
Just to give, this is a very standardized example. There are some minor changes to it. What would happen is you go through the testing, you go through the medical exam just like you would if you're going to join the active Army. Once you're done and you enlist in the Army Reserves, like we've talked about the active duty Army, you have the delayed entry program where you belong to the Army, you're a member of the Army, but you're not getting paid for it. It doesn't count towards your commitment time, anything of that nature. With the reserves, what we call assess. You assess that day. You are an Army Reservist that day. So you can get an ID card. You can use the PX. You can use all those extra benefits that people know about. So you would do that, and then you would start going to future soldier training with your recruiting center. Within 10 days of your enlistment, we actually have to take you down to your unit, introduce you to everybody, get you your drill schedule, so you understand when your drill time would happen. They no longer call it drill. That's an old term. It's battle assemblies now. But most terms, the term that most people are familiar with is drill. So we take you down there. You'll know for pretty much the entire year when all of your drills are. So if you have a job, you can actually give that to your boss and say, these are the days that I need off. So instead of having to worry about, having your 2 weeks notice, you can give them months notice. Once we get to your unit, you start doing future soldier PT with us. We do everything from running, muscular strength and endurance. We do classes. There's mandatory classes we have to give you within 30 days of enlistment so we can make sure you understand the scope of the Army's Equal Opportunity Program and sexual harassment and things like that are key to the Army nowadays. You go through those pieces of training. Plus, there's an online thing for futuresoldiers.com where you learn military time, Army rank, things of that nature. Once we get you through all that training, we try to get you done with it as quickly as possible. So then when it comes time for you to go to basic training, that's the only thing in front of you. You don't have to worry about trying to catch up on your online classes or doing anything of that nature. So you can actually enjoy your last couple weeks. And then off to basic training you go. When you're done with basic training, you go to AIT, you learn your job. Once you graduate, you come back and you start drilling. And you'll already know your drill schedule because you'll have gotten it when before you ship to basic. So that's a kind of a standardized example of how it works. There are certain things that can make it fluctuate a little bit, like how quickly you ship off to basic training. We have some people who ship 10 days later. But for the most part, that's a pretty standard example how it goes.
Outstanding. So it looks like people can get in the Army Reserves and then go to school or do a lot of, a lot of things.
The one thing I really, really like about the Army Reserves is when you join the active duty Army, I think it might be unfair to say that you unroot your life and you move on to somewhere else. But there definitely is a leaving component to it. With the reserves, yeah, you're gone temporarily to do your training, but you're coming back home. I think it's really, really good for people to come back to a place where they're already familiar with it. So when they get out of AIT, when they learn their job, they're coming back to an area they already know. Their family more than likely is still here. All the plans that they have had are still here waiting for them when they get back. And then they can just use the Army Reserves as a way to move forward on those plans. And it's one of those things of if you have a plan in place, a recruiter can do backwards planning with you, say this is where you want to go, this is how the Army can help you get there, and you already have a track to be on. Whereas there's a lot of people who are going to go to college and like, well, this is how I think I'm going to pay for school. This is what I think I can accomplish with whether it's just FAFSA or if your parents are going to help you or you're going to work full-time to try to pay for school. It takes a lot of the mystery out of it. How am I going to accomplish my plan? And I think the Army Reserves may be the only place that you can get something that is that specific to you that can help you get all of your goals that you're looking for.
Very good. So people can use the reserves to pay for their schooling. Now, let's look at this. I know a lot of people are interested. I am too. What does the Army Reserves pay?
The one thing about the Army Reserves is you're only doing 1 week in a month, so obviously you're not making a full-time paycheck. Most people, when you join, it's $184 as a private when you first start. Obviously, taxes happens out of that. You'll pay for your medical insurance out of that. You'll also pay for your life insurance out of that. Life insurance right now, I believe, is $29 for $400,000 of coverage. So once you take that piece out of it, you're not taking home. I mean, you're not taking home a huge paycheck. But what are you getting from the Army? The money that you're getting for school is well worth it. The last time we went through and did a class in my office, we figured it out, and you have people making $368 a month on their GI Bill benefits with the reserves. What's really cool about it is there's actually another piece of the select reserve GI Bill that is called a kicker. So if you get a kicker, like my son, he got a $200 kicker. So instead of making that $360 plus, he made $560 plus every month. So there's that kind of stuff. If you look at $560 a month for school, how much school can you accomplish? It's spread out over 36 semester months. You're doing pretty well. Is it going to pay for your entire degree? No. Is it going to get you started and well on your way? Absolutely. So to me, it is well worth it, not only from the soldier perspective, but as a parent. That was my biggest concern when my son joined, was how far will the reserves take my son when it comes to college. It was the only thing we paid attention to. I have a pretty intimate understanding of how the Army works, so he was well versed on that. But the school part, where can he go with what he's trying to do? If you sit down with a recruiter and think of it that way, yeah, I think you'll be pretty impressed with the results.
That does sound impressive. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, San Bernardino, Riverside, Moreno Valley, serving all of Southern California and the world at www.kcaaradio.com. And we're talking with U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander SSE Stephen Schultz. I'm Fred Plumley. An exciting topic. Now, the question I have, I think it's a good one. If you're in the reserves, and it seems to me it could almost be like a trial, like I want to see what the Army's about. It's a way that I could find out. Now I want to go active. How would I do that?
The one difficulty when it comes to switching from the reserves to the active duty Army is I guarantee any person who has thought about taking the plan that you're suggesting, the first thing they said to their recruiter is, can I go reserves to active? The answer is yes. The problem is, as a recruiter, you actually have to be released by your commander that you belong to in the reserves. I could tell you all day long that absolutely you can get released and they can let you go. That is on that specific commander. I don't know him. I don't know his policies. I don't know if they're shorthanded. There's so many pieces that I don't know. Yes, it is possible. I'm no way in any shape or form able to speak on their behalf. The other side of it is we also have a thing that's called business rules. Once you're in the reserves, you're considered prior service, as long as you do 180 days. The one thing about prior service guys is that there are only certain jobs that we're taking active duty. Some of them, I guarantee you, the language ones, especially probably not the common ones like Spanish, but if you speak anything like Chinese Mandarin or any languages that aren't very common, there's a pretty good chance you can get in. But other than that, your job has to be available through business rules, which means it is a critical MOS that is shorthanded and they need people. There are certain qualifications that can help you kind of skip around that, like if you're already airborne qualified, things of that nature. But you have to fall into business rules. The only way you will ever know if you fall into business rules going active duty, or excuse me, reserves to active duty, is to call a recruiter and find out what the newest message says. It does change. It is not a policy that stands for very long. I think the longest we've waited on the change was maybe 5 months. But it does change. It fluctuates with what strength management needs, what strength management sees in the future, what they're predicting for our shortage MOSs. And that's something that we can't control in the recruiting office. Now, another thing is if you can get released by your commander and you wish to go into the 18 X-ray program, which is a Special Forces candidate program, that's always an option for you too. You still need to meet the test requirements and things of that nature, but it is a possibility. So, as you can tell just by the quick way I explain it, there's a lot of variables that I can't, until I see all of your paperwork and sit down and talk to you, you won't know. There's no way for me to say this is a blanket for everybody. But if you have any questions, please sit down with the recruiter. Just go over what's the easiest way for me to get active duty, talk to your chain of command to see if they're willing to release you if you go active duty. But those will be your first steps.
Very good information. You know, what I could see is there's a lot of different opportunities in the Army that a lot of people aren't aware of. And, you know, I've talked to some people in the reserves, and they have a lot of fun.
The one thing I really, really like about the reserves is that not only do you get to do Army business on the weekend, you get to learn a lot about how the Army works as a whole. Without the commitment of going active duty, but your plans for what you're doing don't have to change. If you're planning on going to, like for us in our area, if you plan on going to Cal State San Bernardino and go to college, go to basic training, go to AIT, and then go to school there. If you're planning on going to UCR or RCC, something of that nature, go to basic training, go to AIT, and then go to school there. You don't have to move off somewhere you're unfamiliar with, try to work on, being a full-time soldier while trying to work on college, anything of that nature. You can actually just take your plan, pause it long enough to go to basic training AIT, and then you're running towards your goals.
Very good. And you have a special website for the reserves, too, if I remember.
It's goarmy.com/reserves. Most of the qualification stuff is going to be, those are going to line up. The medical qualifications are the same. Moral qualifications, all that stuff. But when you're looking at specifics, when you're looking at, what jobs are offered in the reserves or specific, education benefits, stuff like that, definitely go to goarmy.com. All you have to do is click on the reserves link and it'll take you right to it. Same idea, though, if you want to talk to a recruiter specifically. Every recruiting office in my area has a reserve recruiter. So myself, I have Staff Sergeant Butler. She has spent time in the active duty Army and the reserves. Now she is actually a full-time reservist who her entire job is to recruit. What's fantastic about having her is she is very intimate on what she was able to accomplish when it comes to schooling. Did she get mobilized and go, do a tour somewhere? She can talk to you exactly what it's like to live that life as a reservist. It's really simple for me to sit behind a microphone and say, hey, this is how the reserves work. I will be honest with you, I have never lived that life, which is why having somebody like her in my office teaching us how things actually work in that setting is paramount to our success, because if otherwise we're just guessing. So every office in our area has a reserve recruiter. Make a phone call, ask for the reserve recruiter, and go from there. It's a good start.
Very good. In fact, she was a guest on the program, and we look forward to having her as a guest again. And I'm always glad when you're here.
Yeah, we try to be here pretty consistently. I will be gone for leave, so I will have myself about a 30-day hiatus. But, yeah, we like coming. It's a good way for us to get the message of the Army out there, and we just like, coming to hang out with you guys, so it's not a bad deal.
Well, don't take 30 days, so you'll probably be back in a couple weeks, right?
It's probably going to be 30 days. We'll see. Depends on what time my wife lets me leave. So she's sitting over there laughing at me right now.
All right, well, we're going to get back to the music, but do you have anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with? One thing, though, is maybe you could give your contact information again as well.
Easiest way to get a hold of me is in my office. My phone number is area code 909-350-4288. You can also go to Fontana Army Recruiting on Facebook, or you can go to goarmy.com, put in your specific zip code for where you live, and then I'll give you the closest office to where you live. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of a recruiter. If you're a high school senior, keep your eyes out. I guarantee you, especially we're getting ready to go back into school. I think we got some going in this week and most of them going the following week. Army recruiters will be all over school. We're there, every single week. So if you have any questions, just stop your recruiter and ask them.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's our pleasure having you on the show. Look forward to having you back really soon. U.S. Army Recruiting Center Commander, SFC, Stephen Schultz, U.S. Army, www.goarmy.com. This is your music team. I'm Fred Plumley. Of course, we're playing only your requested dedications live and in the mix.
You to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light. I want you to know that I'm all yours. You and me are on the same course. I'm slipping down a chain reaction, and here I go, here I go, here I go, go. And once again I'm yours in fractions. It takes me down, pulls me down, pulls me down low. But storms always have an eye, have an eye. Tell me you're covered tonight, or tell me lies, tell me lies. I want you to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light. I want you to know that I'm all yours.
10:11 Pacific time here in North America. Your music team, CNBC.
Run the same course.
And this is KCAA Radio, the stations that leave no listeners behind. 1050 AM, 106.3 FM, 106.5 FM. CNBC, wherever you are, we've got the music for you. Playing only your requested dedications, live and in the mix.
I want you to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light. I want you to know that I'm all yours. You and me run the same course.
And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Kcaa Law Offices and Bankruptcy Professionals, a law firm dedicated to creating a new beginning for their clients. Bankruptcy isn't just a defensive measure. Take the offensive. Attorney Nancy Kcaa has proven that bankruptcy doesn't have to be a negative. It could be a fresh start for a new financial reality. Bankruptcy is your constitutional right. Fight back and save your home. Nancy Kcaa is a bankruptcy lawyer that puts your rights first. She and her team understand how difficult the economy is and the pressure it could put on you and your family. If you have ever considered debt settlement, debt consolidation, or bankruptcy, call the Bankruptcy Professionals. Dedication, innovation, excellent. You need a capable attorney on your side. A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call 888-970-1090 with offices in Pasadena and Riverside. www.bankruptcyattorneypros.com. And a tank checking in from Beijing, China. EDM group out there, thanks a lot for your support. Special dedication. This one is going out to Carolyn Ortiz from Richard Alanis in the city of Los Angeles, California. Lots of people checking in on Skype and Facebook. Wherever you are, we've got the music for you. 10:17 Pacific time. And some great music tonight. Of course, we're playing only requested dedications. And a place to party is the Wheelhouse, the Inland Empire's new entertainment destination. 2860 West Florida Avenue, Hemet, California. Call 951-347-9968. Something great is always happening at the Wheelhouse every night of the week. The Inland Empire's dance club, restaurant, and entertainment destination, featuring our own DJ Devin Hype. All right, another dedication. This one is going out to Morgan in Redlands from a gentleman named Jimmy Villalobos. Having a good time. We definitely got the music for you. CNBC, your music team. I'm Fred Plumley. The party's right here. Your music team every Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m. Pacific time. (10:21) Pacific time right here in North America. And I'd like to mention our sponsor, Easy Rims for Rent. You know what? If you have $20 in your pocket, you could drive away in a brand new set of 20-inch rims with brand new performance tires. If you enjoy great customer service with people who have a combined over 15 years experience, check it out. Easy Rims for Rent is the right way for you to get the tires and wheels you need. With locations all over Southern California and in Las Vegas, Nevada, call toll-free 888-525-RIMS. That's Easy Rims for Rent, 888-525-7467. We're your music team, CNBC. Playing only your requested dedications every Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m. Pacific time. Special dedication. This one is going out to Leticia Alvarez from John Luna, Riverside, California.
How you look right now. The flowers right in front of you are yours. Don't wanna leave. Call me naive, but I can see the future in your eyes. It's true. I wrote a song for you. In your eyes, it's true. I wrote a song for you.
$10:25 Pacific time. And a special dedication. This one is going out to Mr. Richard Gonzalez from Carla Ramirez in Moreno Valley, California. And Carla said this is a special message. So here you go. Carla, thanks for your support. We're your music team, CNBC. Your music team, CNBC. 9 to 11 p.m. Pacific time. .30 Pacific time here in North America. And want to mention our sponsor, House of Beauty, with locations all over Southern California, Chula Vista, San Diego, Corona, Fontana, Moreno Valley, Murrieta, Norco, Palm Desert, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Temecula. They could definitely help you. Check out the website, www.houseofibrowthreading.com. And they've just got some great services and really could help you out. House of Eyebrow Threading, House of Beauty. And you know, we'd like to thank our great engineer, Mr. Joe Pagano, as always, doing a great job. Special dedication, this one is going out to Robert Quinones from Lisa Alvarez, checking in from West Hollywood, California. Happy birthday to you. And she loves you a lot, so we've definitely got the music for you. By the way, it's time to give away 4 passes to the Orange Empire Railway Museum. You can ride the trains and the trolleys all day long, every Saturday and Sunday. And it's a lot of fun. Over 200 running trains and trolleys. The Orange Empire Railway Museum, located in Paris, California. www.oerm.org. The Orange Empire Railway Museum, bringing Southern California's railway history to life. .35 Pacific Time in North America. Your music team. By the way, for those of you in Southern California, coming up soon, not only will be broadcasting at 10:50 a.m., also broadcasting 106.3 FM, 106.5 FM, Kcaa Radio, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Get your hands up.
Richard Anderson checking in from the United Kingdom. Thank you very much for your support. Get your hands up. All right, shout out to Monica Sepulveda, Moreno Valley, California. She and her friends are having a big party out there. Wanted to say hello. We've definitely got the music for you. Take care, Monica. Get down. Your music team is in the house. CNBC Radio. .1040, Heinrich Mueller checking in from Germany. EDM Group Berlin, thank you very much for your support. We're proud to have listeners and supporters in over 170 countries. We're your music team. We'd like to thank our principal sponsor, the U.S. Army Strong. The United States Army is a key component of the U.S. Armed Forces. It's made up of the best trained, most dedicated, most respected soldiers in the world, protecting Americans' freedoms at home and abroad, securing our homeland and defending democracy worldwide. With expert training in one of over 150 different jobs for soldiers on active duty and over 120 in the Army Reserve, there is no limit to the opportunities in the Army. From the arts to the sciences, intelligence to combat, computers to helicopters, engineering to law, there's no limit to what you can learn and achieve. The U.S. Army Strong, www.goarmy.com. Our principal sponsor, the U.S. Army Strong. We're your music team, CNBC. All right, special dedication going out to Richard from a young lady named Betty in the city of Corona. Also, we'd like to mention our sponsor, Circle K. Circle K has many great locations, like in Yucaipa, 12045 Bryant Street, Yucaipa, California. Call 909-790-4242. They have a lot of great products, great coffee, soft drinks, all kinds of convenience items. Check it out. Circle K is the first Circle K in Yucaipa, 12045 Bryant Street, Yucaipa, California. 909-790-7242. And it's 10:45 here in North America. Your music team, CNBC. Elizabeth Armstrong checking in from Brisbane, Australia. Thank you very much for your support. $10:49 Pacific time. As you know, the party is always happening at the Wheelhouse, Southern California's new entertainment destination. 2860 West Florida Avenue, Hemet, California. That's right, something great is always happening at the Wheelhouse every night of the week. The Inland Empire's dance club, restaurant, and entertainment destination. Don't miss the Wheelhouse, featuring the incomparable DJ Devin Height, and he'll be back here soon with us. Your music team, 1050. right, Rachel checking in. How you doing, Rachel? She's in Los Angeles, California. Rachel Quinones. All right, we'd like to thank Immigration Lawyers of America. Immigration Lawyers of America is a full-service immigration law firm with substantive experience in the field of immigration law. Founded by attorney Kcaa, the firm can assist you with various options for individuals, businesses, and investors who wish to enter the United States to stay temporarily or stay permanently. Immigration Attorneys of America provides comprehensive case assistance for permanent immigration or temporary visits. The firm's friendly and courteous lawyers are available for one-on-one or in-person consultations. Call toll-free 1-855-44-VISA or check out the website www.ilausa.com. Immigration Attorneys of America, with offices in Los Angeles, Irvine, and Corona. They could definitely help you with all your immigration needs.
Say my name now, baby. Loud and clear. Say my name now, baby. Say it so I can hear your voice. All I wanna do is get next to you. All I wanna do is
Yeah, it's late night. Are you ready to get next to somebody?
All I wanna do is get next to you.
Engineer Joe Pagano giving me the look. Thanks for your help tonight. $10.55. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Bankruptcy Professionals, a law firm dedicated to creating a new beginning for their clients. Bankruptcy isn't just a defensive measure. Take the offensive. Attorney Nancy Karampis and her team have proven that bankruptcy doesn't have to be a negative. It could be a fresh start for a new financial reality. Fight back and save your home. Nancy Karampis is a bankruptcy lawyer that puts your rights first. They understand how difficult the economy is and what pressure it could put on you and your family. Call Bankruptcy Professionals. Dedication, innovation, excellence. When you need a capable attorney on your side, A rating with the Better Business Bureau, call 970-1090 with offices in Pasadena, California and Riverside, California. www.bankruptcyattorneypros.com. Melissa Richardson checking in from Redlands. Said they're enjoying the music tonight. Well, we've definitely got it for you. Your music team, CNBC. Last minute dedication. This one is going out to Carolyn Areola from a gentleman named Steve in Los Angeles, California. Your music team every Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m. Pacific time here in North America. Next week, our special guest will be Jesus Holguin, president of the California School Boards Association.
DJ Diego.
We gonna play a game up in here tonight. And in order to play this game, you got to follow the rules to the game. Now, are y'all ready to play the game?
We've always got the music for you. And great guests, too, wherever you are. For your music team, I'm Fred Plumley. Want to thank all of you, our listeners and supporters in North America and all over the world in over 170 countries. Thank you very much. Take care. We'll be back, of course, next week. And this is KCAA Radio. The stations that leave no listener behind. 1050 a.m. and also coming on 106.3 FM, 106.5 FM, and many other platforms all over the world. Get in touch with us to find out the best platform to either watch or listen in your country. And your music team is a Fred Plumley production. Good night. Have a great week.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and you hear me every weekend on my show talk about the importance of a financial plan, planning for your retirement, planning for your children's college education fund. Unfortunately, most people don't realize that they need to set up a foundation before any good financial plan can come into place. That's where life insurance comes in. Now, most people think life insurance is just an expense, but it's not. It can be a way of life, a standard of living when someone, the breadwinner, is literally removed